Hello, I'm Mother LInda Logan. I'm the priest and rector of Trinity Episcopal Church in Boonville. Why am I here? Because God and the people of Trinity Church called me, and the Bishop of Central New York affirmed that we humans had all heard right, and I love it here. The people of this parish are full of the love and life of God. It's a group who work with each other with love and laughter and are focused both on God and on other people. I am constantly impressed with the people of Trinity. Who they are as individuals and what they create together through our worship, our music, our dinners and other fundraisers, our free community suppers, and that highlight of every spring, our fun dog show. I'm a cradle Episcopalian, having been baptized as an infant in the Episcopal Church. But when I was a child, my parents did some church shopping, so I've had some experience in other churches. But it was when we settled firmly back into the Episcopal Church that I fell in love with God. That was in St. John's Episcopal Church in Idaho Falls, Idaho. It was the beauty of the church that made me feel my connection with God. The sunlight coming through the stained glass of the rose window, high above the altar. The silver chalice reflecting that light and that of the candles beside and behind it. The smell of the candles, and in the summer the lilacs gathered from the bushes outside the church. The sight of the fair linen and the embroidered brocades on the altar. The rustle of cassocks and cottages as the choir processed up the aisle. The cadence of the liturgy, whether the sung canticles of morning prayer or the prayers of Holy Communion. And the prayers themselves, what they said about God and God's love for us and all the world. I joined the junior choir there at the age of 10 and earned my choir cross in 6 straight months of singing every Sunday. That was in the days when girls could not serve as acolytes, so I joined the Junior Altar Guild as soon as I was confirmed at the age of 12. I wanted to be near God and in God's presence at the altar. I didn't become a priest until I was in midlife. The Episcopal Church didn't start ordaining women until after I had left graduate school and had begun to teach. And it was only after years of working as a university editor and a church journalist and spending a short time in an Episcopal convent, then teaching again, that I went to seminary. I've served 4 churches in New York and actually 5 in South Dakota. 1 full-time for 6 years, plus 4 others for one of those summers, and one of those for another year until the bishop found another priest to take those churches on. 3 of those churches were on reservations, 2 on the Crow Creek, 1 on the Lower Brule. I loved being there, getting to be with the Lakota and learning to sing in their language. I loved being a priest. I loved the studying, the thinking, and the writing. Those are all forms of prayer, you know. And I love being with people and being together with them, with God. I also value being alone with God at my prayer desk. I also love cats. My George and Yosha are now in the arms of Jesus. It's just Sophie Alexandra with whom I live in the rectory now. Sophie, a full-figured, long-haired calico, was Doris Fitch's kitty. When Doris died the month after my Georgie died, Terry Fitch and Dr. Terry Hauserman brought Sophie and me together. All of my cats have loved church. George and Yosha used to meet people at their cars, and occasionally one of them would come to church in the summer, walk up the aisle, and sit at my feet while I read the gospel, or weave in and out of the altar rail. Sophie likes to play the organ, but since Kitten on the Keys is not Peg and Terry's idea of a prelude, she has, alas, been banished from the church. She does, however, sometimes come to vestry meetings and sleep restfully through them. Trinity Church, Boonville, is a beautiful church, red brick in the Gothic Revival style, which is reminiscent of small parish churches in England. It has stood here on Schuyler Street since 1858. It has stained glass windows imported from Europe in the 1860s, and a tracker organ built of woods from the Adirondacks by Maury of Utica in 1910. We no longer charge pew rent, and we don't have committees, so you can enter without fear. With Peg Nussbliger directing the choir and Terry Marcy playing the organ, we have some of the best singers in the area making up our choir. And every now and then, Jason Madison plays the bagpipes. We have communion every Sunday, and communion is open to everyone who feels drawn by Christ to it. I do preach every Sunday, but here's good news. The target length of a sermon in the Episcopal Church is 12 minutes. And every service is followed by a coffee hour that usually offers so much to eat that you don't need lunch after it. So come join us. The Episcopal Church welcomes you. And the service is at 9 o'clock Sunday morning, so you have the whole rest of the day to enjoy when you leave.